Demco gate valves are at work on more mud systems around the world than any other make. There are a number of reasons for this widespread acceptance. Their unique design and construction quality, the precision engineering and exclusive sealing principles make the Demco gate valves ideally suited for the rigorous demands of wellhead, pipeline and production manifold services, providing long life operation without repairs and adjustments. The heart of the Demco gate valve is its gate and seat. The seat is made up of two identical metal wear rings with integral pin extensions at the top and bottom and a metal spread ring molded into an elastomer to form a cylindrical shape with round ports and a gate slot. The gate, when closed, responds to upstream pressure, forcing it against the downstream face of the seat. This molded rib on each sealing face assures tight shutoff even at low differential pressure. To prevent solid particles from being trapped in the gate closure and interfering with the sealing action, this concave groove on the bottom of the gate straddles any trapped solids and creates a turbulence so that line fluids tend to loosen and roll out these particles just before full closure. The Demco gate valve seat assembly is unique because it provides, in a single unit, means for positive sealing with both the gate and body cavity. This is accomplished by the function of Demco's unique expanding seat. During assembly, when the bonnet and body are joined and secured, this spread ring, acting upon the bevel tips of the lower pin extensions, pushes the wear rings outward, wedging them against the body wall. Drilled holes on the underside of the bonnet exert a similar wedging action on the upper pin extensions. This exclusive expanding seat design seals the seat tightly in the body, yet allows the gate to raise and lower freely and seal drop tight without bumping. Now let's look quickly at the stem. The stem seal assembly consists of three molded packing rings and a bronze follower. A secondary seal is located here above the packing assembly. This prevents line fluid from entering the stem should the primary seal be damaged. Any leakage is forced outward and can be quickly detected. Fast turning action and low torque are the result of these double acting threads. The stem screw housing is permanently lubricated at the factory. And further, each time the valve is opened and closed, these special ports in the stem and stem screw allow grease to flow from one part of the stem assembly to the other, lubricating the threads as you operate the valve. Routine lubrication of the stem thread is recommended through an Alemite grease fitting located at the top of the valve. Although Demco manufactures a wide variety of gate valves in a number of different sizes, we're going to take a close look at the two major valve designs in the API 5000 series, the 2-inch and the 4-inch. The 2-inch 5000 gate valve can be readily disassembled and reassembled without removing the body from the line. It's also important to remember here that except for different bodies and couplings, all parts in Demco's 2000, 3000, and 5000 working pressure gate valves are interchangeable. To disassemble, first open the gate fully. Then unscrew this coupling and withdraw the bonnet assembly from the body. On the 2 1/2, 3-inch, and 4-inch 5000 valves, nuts rather than a coupling lock the bonnet assembly to the body. Next, squeeze the two insert pins together and remove the seat from the body. Now, remove the bonnet seal O-ring from its groove in the top of the body and inspect for damage. Next, remove the pin and lock handle. And lift off the hub. Then remove the coupling. Now, turn the stem screw clockwise to the bottom. And withdraw the gate from the stem by rotating it a quarter turn and sliding it off the T-head of the stem. At this point, the seat or gate can be inspected and replaced if necessary. To remove the stem, turn it clockwise till it disengages from the stem screw. And slip it out from the underside of the bonnet. Unscrew this lock screw and lift the screw housing off the bonnet. Now remove the retainer and the O-ring seal inside the retainer. And remove the stem seal assembly from the bonnet. To remove the stem screw, turn it clockwise out of the screw housing. Now remove the screw seal from the screw housing. The valve is now ready for inspection and any replacements that might be necessary. Inspect each O-ring seal, the bonnet O-ring seal, the stem screw seal, and the O-ring that fits inside the retainer. They should be replaced if they're worn or cut. The V-shaped stem packing provides a pressure-responsive seal to prevent any leaks. They should be replaced if the edges are not smooth or not free of cuts. Inspect the outside surface of the stem, where it passes through the packing for any nicks or scratches. If necessary, these can be smoothed down with emery cloth. Before reassembly, you should thoroughly clean all parts and apply a good grade of all-purpose grease to the threads, seal rings, and exterior of the seat, and on the surfaces of the bonnet, stem, and stem screw where they come in contact with seals. Reassembly of the 2-inch valve begins by sliding the threaded end of the stem through the stem bore from the underside of the bonnet. Now gently screw the 2 seal rings, hollow side down, over the stem threads. And work them individually into the counter bore in the bonnet. Be careful not to cut or fold back the edges of the seal rings. This could cause leakage. Next, install the flat-backed follower ring, flat side up, on top of the seal rings. Then slide the bronze bushing over the stem and down to the follower ring. Now place the secondary seal O-ring inside the retainer. And screw the retainer, beveled side first, gently over the stem threads to avoid damaging the O-rings, and slide the retainer down on top of the bushing. Now place the primary stem screw O-ring in this groove in the top of the screw housing. Next, slide the stem screw through the stem screw housing from the underside. Engage the threads and turn the stem screw counterclockwise approximately 1/2 the total thread length. And now place the screw housing on the bonnet. And install the lock screw. Rotate the stem screw clockwise until it bottoms on the retainer. Then back it off about 1/8 of a turn. Next, slip the gate on the T-head of the stem and turn them together counterclockwise until the gate makes contact with the underside of the bonnet lugs. Then back off just enough to align the gate with the opening between the lugs and retract the gate into the bonnet by turning the stem counterclockwise. Next, install the seat on the bonnet assembly by pushing the seat pins into the bonnet pin holes. The gate should just be started into the seat. To make sure the gate is seating properly, first, lower the gate by turning the stem screw clockwise to the limit of its down travel. Then make a pencil mark on one side of the gate, even with the bottom of the seat port. Then remove the seat from the bonnet assembly Measure the distance from the pencil mark to the bottom of the gate. For a 2-inch valve, this distance must be from 5/16 to 7/16 of an inch, a tolerance of only 1/8 of an inch. Your gate valve catalog contains the distance ranges for the other size valves. If this distance is not correct, adjustment instructions can also be found in the catalog. Once the distance is correct, continue the reassembly by retracting the gate fully into the bonnet and replacing the seat on the bonnet assembly. Then place the bonnet seal O-ring in the groove in the top of the valve body. Now, align the index pin slot in the bonnet with the index pin in the body. And slide the seat and bonnet assembly into the body seat bore. We're ready now to join the bonnet assembly to the body of the valve. This can be done while the body remains installed in your mud system, or if removed from the system, it should normally be placed in some type of holding device, such as a vise. First, place the coupling over the bonnet assembly and screw it onto the body. Tighten the coupling and make sure the bonnet assembly is tight in the body. The final assembly step is to install the handle. Place the hub over the top of the stem screw. Insert the locking handle. And secure it with the cotter pin. Now you should test the valve by opening and closing it several times, observing the gate to make sure the valve is properly timed. There should be no excessive torque. The valve will then be ready for service. It is important to remember that during the assembly of this or any valve, all component parts should be completely free of any chips or shavings or other particles that could interfere with the operation of the valve. Although there are minor design differences between this 4-inch 5,000 working pressure gate valve and the 2 through 4-inch size 2,000, 3,000, and 5,000 working pressure valves, It disassembles and reassembles in much the same way as the 2-inch valve you've just seen. The first step again is to open the gate fully. As we pointed out, nuts, rather than a coupling device, lock the bonnet assembly to the body. Now lift the bonnet assembly off the body. Then remove the seat by squeezing the insert pins together and taking it from the body. Remove the bonnet seal O-ring from its groove in the top of the body and inspect for any damage. Next, turn the handle clockwise to move the gate out of the bonnet. Then withdraw the gate from the stem by rotating a quarter turn and sliding it off the T-head of the stem. Once more at this point, the seat or gate can be inspected and replaced if necessary. Generally, these two inexpensive components, the gate and the seat, are the only parts that will require replacement. Continuing the disassembly, remove the stem cap, tube, and handle. Then remove the key. Now remove the nuts that attach the screw housing to the bonnet. Lift off the screw housing and remove the stem screw seal from the housing and replace if damaged. Now, rotate the stem screw off the stem and remove the bearings and the retainer. Inspect the O-ring inside the retainer and replace if damaged. Lift the stem slightly so that the downstop ring may be removed. Then remove the stem from the underside of the bonnet. Finally, remove the stem seal assembly, including the bushing. Inspection and maintenance or replacement of worn parts is the same as with the 2-inch valve. Once more, all parts should be thoroughly cleaned and a good grade of all-purpose grease applied to the threads, bearings, seal rings, and the exterior of the seat, and on the machined surfaces of the bonnet, stem, and stem screw, which are in contact with the seals. Like the 2-inch valve, assembly of the 4-inch 5,000 gate valve begins by sliding the threaded end of the stem through the stem bore in the underside of the bonnet and drawing the stem head partially into the bonnet cavity. Then place the downstop ring over the bottom of the stem head and lower the stem until the downstop ring shoulders on the inside of the bonnet. The stem seal in this 4-inch valve is assembled exactly the same as the 2-inch valve. First, screw the seal rings over the stem threads. And work each of them into the counter bore in the bonnet. Then install the follower ring on top of the seal rings and slide the bronze bushing over the stem and down to the follower ring. Screw the retainer flat side up over the stem threads, carefully to avoid damaging the O-rings. And slide the retainer down on top of the bonnet. Now place the thrust bearing on top of the retainer. Then place the stem screw over the stem and turn the stem screw down counterclockwise to hold the bearing in place. It is important at this point to make sure the bearing is flush or concentric all around with the bottom of the stem screw. Now place the second thrust bearing over the stem screw and slide it down to the shoulder on the stem screw. Next, place the stem screw seal in this groove in the top of the stem screw housing and slide the housing down over the stem screw and bonnet studs. Thread on the bonnet stud nuts and tighten securely. To install the handle, first insert the key in the keyway of the stem screw. Then place the hub over the stem screw with the keyway in the hub aligned with the stem screw key. Place the tube on top of the stem screw, then the stem cap over the tube, and turn the stem cap clockwise to tighten it down against the hub. Now slide the gate onto the T-head of the stem and rotate it 1/4 turn to align with the bonnet cavity. Retract it into the bonnet by turning the handle counterclockwise. Next, place the bonnet seal O-ring in the groove in the top of the valve body. Now install the seat on the bonnet assembly by pushing the seat pins into the mating pin holes on the underside of the bonnet. At this point, the gate should be just started into the seat. Then place the seat and bonnet assembly in the body seat bore, with the seat line bore aligned with the body line bore. Test it now to make sure you cannot manually push the bonnet all the way down flush with the body. Next, thread on the body stud nuts and tighten evenly all around with an impact wrench, gradually pulling the bonnet down flush with the body. Finally, open and close the gate several times to make sure the timing is correct and that there is no excessive torque. We, of course, expect and hope that there will be very few occasions when you'll need to strip down a Demco gate valve for anything other than routine replacement of wear members. Following the simple maintenance steps we've outlined here, these rugged valves should give you long and trouble-free service. Seldom will you have to replace any part other than the gate and seat, and these only after demanding service that other valve brands could not tolerate. If you should have any problems, you can always refer back to this videotape presentation or to the Demco Gate Valve Catalog, which contains step-by-step assembly, disassembly, and maintenance procedures. Thank you.